Having wrenched on cars for as long as I've been detailing them, Nick, it's little things like this that make the mechanic happy.
You might be nervous about cleaning an older engine bay. Well, today, we've got the video for you.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
This is DIY Detail. We have a beautiful 1999 M Coupe, otherwise known as a clown shoe, here with the beautiful racing BMW M engine, inline 6. It's got a lot of pedigree to it, but it's dirty. How can you drive around a beautiful car with a dirty engine?
I don't know. I usually think out of sight, out of mind. If I'm not seeing it as I drive down the road, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Some people want their engine bay cleaned, Ivan, and if they're those kind of people, they want to hear what you have to say.
Right. So first of all, we can look at the underside of the hood here. It's seen a better day. I see that on this fender liner, it's got a sticker. This part has been replaced, probably cracked at some point. It's a plastic fender liner, and that's why we have all this dirt here. Because normally this stays clean because of this fender liner, but this one didn't quite do that. So we need to get all clean on the surface to get it nice and clean. This hood pad is very, very thin and it's sensitive to water. So we're not gonna get this wet with the all clean. We will with the Incredible Suds, but not with the all clean. We wanna leave it be as much as possible. So let me go around the edges of it with all clean. Diluted 15:1. There we go. Now, we also want all clean on the engine. All clean is not going to damage the polished aluminum. I don't have to worry about that. And I'm getting this from different angles because I want the solution everywhere. Now, Nick mentioned this is an older vehicle. It's over 25 years old.
Not an ancient vehicle, but in terms of an engine bay, it's more aged than I'm comfortable with, Ivan.
Right.
And so I actually wanted to ask you, I just didn't want to get in the way of the audio here if that was too loud, but I don't think it's too loud.
No.
What do I have to be aware of? What might I want to wrap up? I mean, you're just going willy-nilly, but I don't know engines. I just want to make sure I'm not messing something up.
What I'm going to avoid here is this little compartment here. Notice there's a seal around it. That seal is indicating to me this shouldn't get wet. Because from BMW's perspective, all the rest of this can get wet. But this one has a box and a seal. We don't want this getting wet.
Let's talk about engine bays, because if you're like me, again, I'm very, not nervous, just very cautious about what's going on here and getting any chemicals on it. But when it rains, and you drive down the road, what happens here, Ivan?
Water goes in here. The grill is up here. The water goes in here, hits the radiator, goes through the radiator, gets hit by this fan that spins around.
Oh, you can actually see the fan? Okay.
Yeah. Because it's a mechanical fan. It's old enough to have a mechanical fan. And it pulls all that moisture in here and gets this all wet. The reason we can wash this is because it's all designed to get wet. But like I said, in this particular vehicle, we have this little box here that we have open wires and they're a little brittle after 25 years, et cetera, et cetera. But BMW was bright enough to go, wait a minute, there's things in there that shouldn't get wet. Let's put a seal around it. So when you see something like that, that's an indication of, oh, they didn't want that to get wet.
I also like the way you think and hearing it and hearing you explain it. It's like, we encourage you to think that way as well, right? Use whatever common sense you have. Think analytically about what's going on. It's something that now that I see how you got there, I was like, oh, I don't have a mechanical knowledge of an engine bay, but I see that and it makes sense to me. So I may even put a plastic bag over that. How could I better keep that dry?
Yeah, we will put a plastic bag before going too much further. Or just a piece of cardboard for that matter. Now, one thing you have to be careful of is you want to get the soap solution everywhere. And this isn't soap, this is our all-purpose cleaner, all clean, diluted 15:1 with just a bit of Incredible Suds for more dwell. But we do want it to dwell as long as possible. And one way we're going to do that is by adding some Incredible Suds. Now, another way you could cover that up is simply a drying towel. So you can take a nice heavy towel, like our drying blanket, tuck everything in nicely, because I'm not going to be spraying this with the pressure washer, But with the foam cannon, I might get a bit of foam there. And getting some soap on my drying blanket is not a big deal. So there, it's all tucked in, ready for the night.
That's a very original solution, Ivan.
Something that every detailer should have is a couple towels laying around. Now, Nick, take the pressure washer and the foam cannon and get it foamed up. Again, you'll want to be precise with this. You don't want to get this too foamy.
Do you trust me with a foam cannon in my hands?
It's up to you. Do you think you can do it?
I don't know if I trust myself. What advice do you have for this? I know you just said avoid this liner.
Right.
What else?
That's it, and avoid the towel. We don't want to purposely send suds there.
Am I trying to get into every nook and cranny?
Every nook and cranny.
From close, from far? Okay.
About a couple feet away.
So Incredible Suds are wash soap 32 to 1 in this foam cannon, which means 32 ounces of water, 1 ounce of Incredible Suds.
And start on the engine, because to place your fan, to get it to the right size, to be able to do this without getting the liner too wet. If you get a little bit on the liner, not a big deal.
Start on the engine, get my fan the way I want to, and then work around just on the painted sections here?
Yes.
So, as far as the bottom, Ivan, the actual engine bay, I kind of got into most angles. Would you have gone even further and done one of these numbers? I've seen you go, okay.
Yeah.
So I can do that.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I got a little wild there. I spilled a little bit on the blanket.
That's fine.
I missed some spots.
Yeah.
How are we feeling about that?
Let me,
I'm not nervous. I just don't want to mess someone's car up, Ivan.
All right.
I didn't want to get too much overspray. You know, sometimes you get upset if I get the walls wet. So there's a lot of parameters here.
Let the suds break down. We want to let the suds break down.
We're leveraging dwell time here.
Right. And while we're letting it dwell, let's talk about a few things. We've done engine bay details on the channel before, and people stress out about it because, oh, don't get the alternator wet. Well, the alternator is right in line with this fan. It's right there, just right there. There's the alternator. There's the fan. They're 4 inches apart. When water's going through there, it's getting propulsed by the fan right into the alternator. It's designed to get wet. Don't stress out about it. Now, if you have aftermarket parts, and we do have one aftermarket part, that's this from Racing Dynamics, the strut bar, but it's polished aluminum. Our All Clean is safe on polished aluminum. If you're using an engine degreaser, you may have a problem with that polished aluminum.
If you are concerned about this in direct sunlight, would you be right? Like if I have direct sunlight blazing down and All Clean is dwelling everywhere, polished aluminum, any concern then?
I just wouldn't put it on a hot engine because the engine is warm, by the way, but we don't want a hot engine. The reason we don't want a hot engine is simply we don't want the product drying too quickly. But in direct sunlight, the car's been parked for a couple hours, not a big deal. You open the hood, most things are, light colored in here, not a big deal. Now we need to rinse this off. We've had the dwell time that we need. We're going to rinse starting from the top down, just like we would regularly. And I'm gonna rinse from one side, I'm gonna rinse from the front, I'm gonna rinse from the other side because I want to make sure that I'm getting all of the suds off. By getting the suds off, I'm also getting the dirt off. And if you look, just from the suds that are dripping off the engine, what's going into our drain has these beautiful streaks of brown in it.
So a lot of work is being done for us without having to agitate anything yet.
Right, because the engine compartment is full of dust. Where that dust comes from is, you're driving down the road, it comes in through that radiator. It comes in through there. And then it gets damp. When it gets damp or wet from driving, there's not enough moisture to drive it down, but there's enough moisture to get that dust to stick, and then it just keeps building up on itself. So we're gonna be doing something at the end that's gonna help prevent that. But in the meantime, let's rinse this off. Making sure our tip is well secured, and then I'm not worried about rinsing this pad off yet because we will be rinsing another time. That's when I'm gonna rinse the soap off there if there is any. One thing that I'm not doing is this, getting really, really close. I have a 25-degree tip on here. It's got a nice fan to it. Our pressure washer only puts out about 1.5 gallons per minute, so we're good. and we have it dialed down to 900 PSI. So now we have all that soap taken away, time to add some more.
So this is not a hose-free method, folks. There's plenty of water on the floor.
Yeah.
You're doing a lot of work just with that pressure washer alone.
Next, applying more Incredible Suds. And Nick, I noticed that foam, I was the one that mixed it up. It was a little light. I'm gonna ask you to actually, I'm gonna look away.
Recipe?
And get you to glug just a little bit in there.
Let's go.
We want foam that's gonna dwell as long as possible here. That might be excessive, Nick.
You said you were looking away.
No, but I mean, that's, yeah.
You said you were looking away, Ivan. You can't tell me
Here's
you
half
look
a
away.
bottle,
And then,
come on.
You can't look away and then look. Those are two
right here,
different
Nick.
things. All right. There you go. You might need to shake it up a little bit, Ivan.
Yeah. I saw how much you put in there. By excessive, I meant, maybe adding another ounce. Not half a bottle. Yeah. So if you're using Incredible Suds and the bottom of your foam cannon looks like this, that's because it's not mixed in. Now there may not be enough water for it to mix in here. That weighted ball is what you hear.
I have faith in the QUIVR foam cannon to make this happen for us.
Let's see what we can do here. I asked for thick foam and you delivered.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
Now that you see it, you don't hate it as much.
No. We have our wash bucket here. Now, Nick, we need to start brushing before the suds goes away. So using the wheel and body brush, I'm gonna start on the hood.
Why do we want to leverage the foam while it's still foamy?
Lubrication. And it also allows us to see where we've brushed and where we haven't. Dunking my brush, moving to another section. I'm gonna work from the outside in, because these sheet metal parts are actually the ones that needed the most work. So work from the outside in, and you're working these large sections. Getting in wherever we can with the large brush. Now, this isn't a show car detail. If it was, I would have removed this bar. I might have removed the intake here. A lot of different things. This is a selling the car detail, or just a maintenance.
I mean, what is the goal of detailing an engine bay, Ivan? I think that's a good place to start this conversation, that latest comment. You mentioned a pre-sale detail. I mean, that's what I think of as like, they're gonna look inside the engine bay. I'd like my engine bay to look good. But what are other reasons you'd want to detail your engine bay?
Diagnosing a leak that you might have, trying to find it. Where's that oil leak coming from? If you have a clean engine, it's easy to see where it's coming from. Also, it's nice to drive a clean car, and part of that clean car is the engine.
I will say, very underrated. It's a very rewarding process to do the engine bay because once you get enough confidence, you're like, I just need to scrub things. Like, I just need to scrub what I can see. You don't have to worry about getting into places you can't see. Remember, this is for diagnosing things, for clarity with your eyes, but also you're just generally cleaning.
Yeah.
Just cleaning what you can see, and that's always rewarding.
Now that I've got in with the big brush wherever I could, I'm going to use the small brush here to get in where the big one couldn't. It's very easy to see where the large brush missed.
Oh, because there's like just a layer of foam.
Right, and working methodically. So I'm starting at the intake and I'm going to work my way to the engine along the intake track. And if you don't know what all these words are that I'm talking about, it's like,
I'm like, do I get to ask every time I don't know? Because then I'll be asking you every sentence. Yeah, go ahead.
As you're doing this, have Google by your side and go, oh, what's this part? And learn about your engine while you're there. That way, the next time your mechanic is talking to you, you don't look like a deer stuck in the headlights. Rotating the fan, cleaning it.
Oh, that is such a detailer move, Ivan.
Well, also, if you have dirt on the fan that isn't balanced, it's going to damage the fan over time. Having wrenched on cars for as long as I've been detailing them, Nick, it's little things like this that make the mechanic happy. Now, if you're finding yourself running out of foam, get the foam cannon out again. Not our case today.
You're welcome.
Yeah. and look at it from different angles. Because if you're standing on that side all the time, there are things you won't see.
That's a good point.
Coming at it from a different angle, we see different things.
The stakes are both incredibly high and incredibly low. My feeling of them being high is I don't want to mess anything up.
Right.
My feeling of them being low is like it's just up to whatever I want. No one's gonna be looking at this if I'm just doing this for fun.
No.
So you're just doing it for you. However far you want to take it is the perfect amount, in my opinion.
And the more often you do this, the less work you're gonna have to do. How's it going there, Nick?
Good. I'm just moving my brush until you tell me we're on to the next step. I'm totally done.
Okay. It's looking good on my side. Just one area that I just saw that I missed. Different angles, different light. You'll see different things. Then from there, we get to rinse again. This is close to the final rinse. We have one other additional little step here. But let me rinse the windshield off first. Getting that soap out from there, and then we want to make this engine deceptively easy to clean the next time. That someone goes, wow, look how quickly and easily this cleans up. That's why we use our friend QUIVR.
Even on that liner.
Yeah.
Tell me about QUIVR, Ivan LaCroix.
It is a ceramic-infused sealant that is spray-on, rinse off. And normally I wouldn't use this much, but on an engine bay, you need to get it everywhere. Now, even the sprayer is not used to working this much. What we're doing here is I'm trying to get it in everywhere. There are ways to do it using the pressure washer stream, but I'm gonna go old school today.
I like that. I approve of that. You're using an adequate amount of product, Ivan.
Yeah, there you go. Like I said, the sprayer doesn't want to keep up here.
Are you using the whole bottle?
No, this bottle only had like 2 inches in the bottom of it. That's
Right.
why the sprayer is having problems.
Gotcha.
Because there's not enough in there, but getting it from all angles, and then I'm gonna activate it using the pressure washer. But normally we rinse from the top down. This time I'm gonna start near the bottom and work up, because I don't want what I'm rinsing here to take the quick beads off the surface. I want to activate it with the pressure washer. As I'm moving the quick beads around, you'll see sort of a little beading action. I want to keep moving that around the engine till it's all gone. Look at that engine cover now. It's almost drying itself.
That's the idea, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
What that also means is less dirt is going to stick. Notice on that engine cover, I'm moving further back because I don't want direct pressure on it. Someone in the past has put some suds on here for it to...
I was gonna ask, what is the purpose of this?
Insulation. Mostly sound insulation.
Sound, yeah.
So rinsing from a different angle. Looking to see if there's areas I missed with the quick beads, which I did. Right here, there's no quick beads. So let me add a little bit to that. Might as well get the radiator while I'm there. Now the quick beads is there. So next step is drying this. And we're not gonna spend a day with a towel in there.
I think that's a sound plan.
We can use a compressor, we can use a leaf blower. This is one of my favorite uses for a leaf blower because I'm getting a lot of volume of air, but not a lot of pressure directly on things.
Oh, that's what we want to avoid.
Right, because I don't want to drive water into these connections. But the leaf blower, it's a more gentle, yes, it's moving a lot of air very quickly, but not a lot of surface pressure.
Okay, so it'd be better than an air compressor with like a gun tip
Yes.
at the end.
Yeah. We have our Ego blower ready to go. Driving the water down this. It looks really nice now. When it's dry, it's still not gonna look good. But we can make that look better by putting tire dressing on.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I know if you'd have rinsed that maybe 16 more times, it would have finally flushed it all.
Right.
But we have so much water in the shop today, and we know why we're doing this. It's to get this thing sold.
Yeah.
Like, any other reasons why you didn't spend all that time doing it?
The more I'm rinsing, the more I'm potentially damaging. So I know there's a lot of soap in there. This engine is 25 years old. This wasn't 25 years worth of dirt on this engine. Maybe a couple years, but not 25 years. So with that, I'm just wanting to get it nice and clean looking. We can mist on some tire dressing, blow it in with this, and it'll look great.
Let's see it.
Yep. So you notice how the water, this is almost dry, and then we have it just soaking here. We're gonna use the leaf blower to drive more of that moisture down before we put the hood. Now, Nick, you've seen me do this with quick beads before, putting it in the stream of the pressure washer.
Yeah, but I've never seen you do what I think you're about to do today. So that first amount of air, what was that for when you were spraying it in?
What do you mean?
As you were blowing and spraying with the nozzle, what was the blowing for? Because it was very low.
Right. I just wanted to atomize it a little more. I don't want a direct spray, because this trigger is a nice trigger, but now we create a gentler fan.
Okay.
So that's got that nicely dressed up, and then spraying it a little more was just to spread it out on the pad, drive a little more moisture out of the pad.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So let me get a few more drops that I see.
So now I imagine we can finally dry, Ivan.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of just our grungier looking, old coating leveling towels, just a shop towel, whatever works for you. Now, would I ever want to use something like tire lotion to mop up, or NV ceramic sealant?
You can. I wouldn't use the sealant because we already have quick beads on there. And the tire lotion is nice, but to me, it gets it just a little too glossy. I like a natural engine looking, natural looking engine.
Is it possible that to get it sold though, greasy might be a better look? Just because some people think that looks nice?
To me, greasy is something's been doctored here.
But you know the game, Ivan.
Right. Whereas just natural clean is, oh, this has been well maintained.
Oh, that's the message it sends to you.
Yeah.
So to a discerning buyer, they might think like Ivan.
Right,
where it's
and
just
this being more of a collector car, that is that's more of a possibility. It's not your run-of-the-mill Toyota Corolla that's on sale at Joe's used car lot.
There's a couple spots I'd really consider tire lotion though. Like, this looks a little faded and old right here.
Yeah.
Maybe this feels like a rubber to me.
Yeah.
But, when you start somewhere, then you don't know when to stop.
Right.
It's a never-ending thing. Then you're like, well, how about the engine? So I know what you're saying, Ivan, and no tire lotion sounds like the move. Well, if I was alone, I'd probably put tire lotion on still. But I understand your why, and I think we're going to go with it.
Now, this paint is non-clear coated.
On the underside of the hood?
Yeah. So that's why it's still going to look a little dingy when we're done.
Got it. Not meant to be looked at, right?
Well, yes, but it's going to stay a little bit on the dingy side.
But I mean, this is not meant to be looked at like outside paint.
No. Looking good. It's now clean. It's presentable. It's the way it came from the factory.
And I imagine this is going to drip for a while.
Yeah, that's going to drip for a while. We have other videos to do on this vehicle, but we're going to leave the hood open as long as we can because we don't want it dripping down on the engine. We want it dripping down onto this cowl that just happens to have a drain going down to the ground.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So we're going to leverage some of these things working in our favor.
Yeah, now speaking of drying, get rid of the drying blanket there and stay dry.
Wow, it's still dusty and dry.
Yeah.
Could you hand detail this if you wanted to?
Now, with your damp drying, the little towel that you used, it's just a little bit damp. Go in there and dust. Not too much pressure.
Okay.
They're brittle plastics after 25 years.
Okay, so this is just dusting.
Yeah.
Dusting around the house. Just a little wipey poo here. Just a little wipey.
Yeah.
All right. Just Wiping in here. Trying to get out of the way for the camera. I don't want to mess anything up.
Another thing, Nick, is this. It's just damp. It's not
just
wet.
damp? Just that surface area there.
Yeah.
I know how to clean, guys. I guess I'm being extra careful, Evan.
Well, and this, like you said, is out of your comfort zone.
Absolutely. For
us, in our shops, we did 20 cars a day. We detailed 20 engines a day.
You did engines all the time, huh?
For dealerships, this was part of the game. You have to clean the engine.
Really?
Yes. It's not a concern. It's not a question of should I clean the engine. It's you are cleaning the engine. That's part of the service you need to provide to a dealership.
And that's because they know how to sell cars and engines get looked at.
Right.
Even if you're not super discerning, you're probably going to look at the engine before buying it, right?
Right. And it's sort of a game of cat and mouse. We all know that the dealership cleaned the engine, or in our case, we clean the engine for the dealership. But people, it's like, if they open the hood and they see it's been cleaned, good. They're not going to say anything. But if it hasn't been cleaned, in their head, it's like, this wasn't a well-maintained car.
Yeah, what else am I not knowing about?
Right. We took cars from auction that were disgusting, turned them into really nice-looking cars. And when people see them, oh, it's been well-maintained. We knew that it had not been well-maintained. But that's part of the game of buying a used car. We didn't get anything wet inside the fuse box. Even though we used a pressure washer, not a big concern. One of the concerns that people have is the engine going to start afterwards?
I would have that concern.
Right, and we've done a couple videos where we didn't start the engine afterwards, and people are like, it didn't start. You didn't show it on camera because it didn't start. Let me go start the engine.
Is it going to start? And now the fan is dry, Ivan.
Now, yeah, I'm guessing we got a bit of water from the fan because that's what happens with a fan. We have a nice, clean engine, the way it should look. Yes, it's a 25-year-old car. The radiator has a bit of oxidation on it. The oil filter cap has something on it. But it's beautiful, it's clean, and someone looking at this car will open the hood and go, oh, this was well maintained.
100%.
Yeah, they might check the oil, kick the tires, but that's where we are.
Speaking of a well-maintained vehicle, if you want to learn how to actually maintain your vehicle well, we make a lot of other videos about car care, and this is one of my favorites.